to get this going. First of all, I want to thank everybody that showed up and was able to show up for Donnie's celebration of life. Thank you for being here. This is a celebration of life, and we're going to keep it in good spirit. We're going to talk about and share things that Donnie put on us that impressed us, that it's a good thing. It's all a good thing. I'm going to open it up with a quick prayer. Heavenly Father, Lord, I just thank you for this opportunity, Lord. I thank you for bringing us all here today to share a little bit about our brother Donnie. Lord, I thank you that you made all this happen. Lord, without you, I couldn't get it done. Or my friends, everybody here, we couldn't get it done without you, God. And so I thank you for that. Lord, just help us to get through this. Everything that we do, we give it to you. As we travel today, Lord, these people, as they travel home, I just pray, Lord, you'd keep them safe in everything they do. They're driving, everything we do today, God, we just give it all to you. We thank you for it. We thank you for this opportunity, and we love you and praise you. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, thank you. So what we're going to do is we're going to have I'm going to try to cover a little bit of everything of people who knew Donnie and share with them and stuff, and we'll get this all started off with one of Donnie's fighting mates, friends, brothers, Brian Conklin. He's going to give him this piece.
Thank you, Bill. Well, everybody that knows Donnie would love this. Donnie was all about this with all his friends. He put on these fights, and after these fights, we go to a motel room, and we'd all sit there and watch videos and just have a good time. And I always remember, you know, when I was younger, that, you know, Donnie was one hell of a competitor and one hell of a martial artist. So what I'd really like to say is, you know, I miss him. And I know everybody here feels the same. And I'm just looking in the crowd and seeing these people that I know. That's why we're all here, is because of him. And I see Bobby Dixon, Mike Pacheco, you know, David, you know, everybody. And I'm a little choked up, and so I'm trying to think of things I remember. One thing I really do remember is we were all at a karate camp in 1989, everybody, and we all had our karate shirts on, and we went to like a Denny's. And these girls were around the table, and here comes Donnie, you know, Donnie's just Donnie, and we're all in the bathroom, come out, and Donnie says to these girls, you know, he sits down, he's talking to her, and he's like, you know, tell these guys, you heard what they said when we came out. And as he's doing this, this big old fat redneck guy comes and just like sits down. You don't see all of us with these shirts or anything, and he wants to fight, you know, he wants to fight Donnie right there in the restaurant, and we're all like, oh man. So I jump up and I say, and everybody's like, Brian, shut up, sit down. So I did, but I always, that was one thing that really stuck in my mind, and everybody's looking at the guy's shirts, and the guy, his friends are like, hey, their shirts, look at their shirts. You know, everybody's like, everybody, and they're like, oh, and so the guy turned around and left us alone. But he didn't, you know, he picked a good one to, you know, try to take on, and everybody's like, man, you know, Donnie, he was a scrapper, man, and I've got wounds, and everybody here's probably got a couple good kicks every once in a while, and I seen Donnie break baseball bats with his shin. I don't know if any of you all have seen that, but people who came to the fight saw it. So that's all I really want to say, and I just want to say, you know, I really miss him, and I want to keep this going on in his name, and hopefully we'll get to see him when we all go to heaven. And that's all, man. I love you, Donnie Hair. I love you, brother.
All right, David DeQuala, would you like to come up? David's another one of the karate people, friend, family, brother, target, punching bag.
Jesus, there's so much to say about Donnie. I guess I first met Donnie when I was 15, and I went into Don Wilson's gym out in Cocoa Beach at the time. Now, as you can see, I have a massive stature myself, so when I was 15, I was probably maybe 110 pounds at best. Heck, I graduated high school at 115, so maybe I was 110 at 15. And Donnie was just this massive guy with huge shoulders. He was, what, I think he's 4 years older than me, 5 years older than me, but he was a massive guy at the time. And I just remember my first experience with throwing spin back kicks at him. I loved throwing them, even at that age. And he just stepped in and held me upside down, this far from the ground. I didn't know how it happened, actually, but it was really cool. I enjoyed it. He taught me how to step away from the kick and into the person. And it was great stuff. But throughout all these years and him promoting these fights with my gym locally, he did a tremendous thing for a lot of my fighters. The confidence he gave them, the championships. He just did a lot for a lot of people with these recent promotions these last 5 years, even over the years. Of course, I didn't have a gym back when he was promoting a lot in Orlando and stuff with Bobby. But most recently, maybe it was 3 months ago, he came to my gym on a night where I wasn't there and sparred with my guys. And all the guys were talking so much great stuff about him. This is 3 months ago. And we all know what kind of pain he's been in and how bad his back has been. And he managed to spar that night with 3 or 4 of the guys. He said he sparred about 6 rounds, maybe, total. And he left. I talked to him about a week later, and he said that was the best time he's had in such a long time. He loved it. He had so much fun. And all the guys prior to this were telling me, wow, that guy could barely walk around, but man, he can still fight. And they were so impressed with him still being able to do stuff. It was great. He loved he loved leg kicks, but he more importantly loved when guys would check that leg a little too high. Whoosh, he'd take the other one out from under him. And he did it to 2 or 3 of the guys in the gym, and they were bragging about it. They just thought it was awesome. But anyway, so the week later when I was talking to him about it, and he was telling me how much fun he had, he said that was the best time he had in such a long time sparring. He said, I didn't get out of bed for 3 days. And I wouldn't change anything about it. I would do it again if I could. And that just, it kind of, with, of course, the recent events and him not being here anymore, that really, I take that last experience of his. I don't know if it was his last experience sparring. It certainly wasn't my gym. I take it to heart, and I really appreciate that he came there and did that. And it meant the world to me. I've known Donnie since I was 15 years old. Probably not as good as some of you guys, but certainly for a long time. And I appreciated and respected his ability and the fact that he did promote fights and he helped out a lot. He was a great guy, and he will be missed, and it's just a damn shame that he was in so much pain for so long. He took the risk of having the back surgeries that he did, and he felt like at the time, with each of the conversations I had with him after that, he felt like he was in a position where he had no choice but to have those back surgeries. Of course, I'm sure we all wish that, and he does too, that they had a better outcome than they did. He'd been missed, and God bless you, Donnie.
All right, I'd like to ask Mike Smith. Mike Smith is sensei, instructor, fighter. If I'm not mistaken, once or twice U.S. heavyweight champ. Is that correct? No?
I was lucky nobody showed up.
You're lucky nobody showed up.
I think Mike Green did.
You out on that one.
First of all, I'd like to start off by saying, anytime you guys have David DeQualo speaking, will you guys get a stand so he can get up so the people in the back can see it? Because that was kind of hard on us. We were all back there looking. I would like, Donnie. Everybody talks about Donnie, but for me, I didn't start out in karate. I started out in Bruno. And Donnie and Tracy were 2 people that would ride around Brevard County, and all you would hear is, Yoshikaya died, Yoshikaya died. And I thought those were 2 of the biggest nuts I ever met in my life. But Donnie wasn't just Yoshikaya. Anybody that knows Donnie that's in the martial arts know Donnie would go to a Kung Fu school, Donnie would go to a Taekwondo school. If you had a school and Donnie knew you were there, one day, here he comes. You know, and it was like, what are you doing, man? I just want to get better. Everybody has these great stories that you're going to hear today about Donnie, and every last one of you take 1 second and think about the stories you can't tell everybody else about Donnie. Because I'm going to tell you now, Donnie and I worked at a place, and we called ourselves public relations officers. We dealt with the public. when everybody else didn't want to deal with the public. And some of the things that Donnie did in this place that we worked at, I used to sit back and go, I'm not going to jail. And one night, I guess he had this thing for good old boys. These guys come out and they're going, we want to fight all you public relations officers. So we all go out behind the club and we're standing out there. This one-armed guy comes up, he looks at me and he goes, I'm going to kick your butt. And I go, and I looked to see that he had one arm. So I stepped back, and as I stepped back, whack! The guy's laying on the ground. Donnie, why'd you knock the guy out? He should have kept his mouth shut. Okay, Donnie, that's pretty good. So the guy gets up, looks at me, and he goes, man, you hit me real hard. I didn't have the nerve to sit and tell him Donnie did. I was like, yeah, I did. But that's only one of the stories I can tell you about Donnie. Everybody, like I said, if you spent time with Donnie, it was fun time. There was times when you looked at him and went, Donnie, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not. Yeah, I love to call him my friend, and he is truly a friend of mine. But Donnie's one of the first persons to introduce me to Mike Green. He goes, Mike, you're a big guy. There's this big guy in Rockledge you need to go see. So I go visit Mike one night, get beat up. And I'm going, visit him again, got beat up. I go back to Donnie and I go, I thought you were my friend. This guy's beating the living crap out of me. And he's going, no, you're going to get better. Stick with it. And I'm going, okay, Donnie, you said. So I'll go back. Got beat up. But that's the type of person Donnie was as a martial artist. You know, everybody, he wanted all of us to be one. He didn't want all of us to go around here saying, I do kickboxing, I do this, I do that. Donnie did it all. And he wanted all of us to do it all. And to this day, if he was here today, he'd still be sitting out here going, okay guys, Yoshikai died, but let's go do karate. So, you know, when you guys are thinking about martial arts, he's a martial artist. And he was a martial artist, and he will always be one. Thank you. This is a guy that always beat me up. Okay. Also, this is supposed to be my sensei, but I have a new building. Everybody ask him how many times has he been by to see my building. All right.
You're not going to beat me up. Okay, good.
I really had not planned on speaking at all. Thanks, Mike, for that introduction. I appreciate it. I do have one story that jumps out in my mind about Donnie and I. And you know, we trained together, and everything that's been spoken about Donnie this morning is true. You know, that's who he was. He is absolutely in a better place today. There's no question about it. I won't put my glasses on. That way you won't know I'm crying. I'm kind of a little hesitant to tell this story. I don't really know what it has to do with anything, other than it was something that Donnie and I shared. The reason I'm hesitant is because well, you'll know. But Donnie and I wound up matched against one another in one of the karate tournaments. I can't say how long ago. It's been a long time, but we were fighting, and it was you know, a heated, very good exchange we were having, and I got lucky and I caught him with the side kick, and I saw Donnie kind of turn like this, and then he dropped down to one knee. Later we talked about it. He said, Mike, you hit me with that side kick. And I thought, crap, I can't let him see that he got me. And then I said, it's Mike Green. Who's worried about it? It's no big deal. It's Mike. You know, so yes, he was a fighter. He was a great fighter, you know, but I don't really think that that's what I want to be remembered by. You know, I don't want people to know Mike Green, the great fighter. I want people to know Mike Green, the person, you know, and that's who I remember, Donnie Hair, the person. He was, it didn't mean a thing to him, you know, he knew that deep down inside I was afraid of Donnie, you know, plain and simple, you know, I mean, I knew the guy could hurt me, you know, and you know, anybody, and I know there's a lot of fighters here today, so we've all been hit, you know, we've all been fortunate enough to give a shot out occasionally, you know, and I was just fortunate enough to share that part of Donnie's life, and I appreciate you guys listening to me. God bless you all.
Oh boy. Okay, next, Donnie's brother's here, Steve Hair. I'd like to come up and say a piece. Thank you, Steve.
I too had not planned on saying anything today until about an hour ago. First of all, and the main thing I want to say is, I've never met 99% of you folks, but the kind words that the family has received on Facebook has been amazing. And Donnie's family is here. Some of you don't know he actually had one because we're far away.
Steve, could you recognize him for us, please?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Okay.
Donnie's uncle in the green shirt here, Byron Hair. His sister and Donnie's aunt, Jean, here in the white hair. Donnie's cousin, Myrna, and her family, the little kids, Samuel and my wife, Rhonda, here. So, really, the outpouring that we've seen on Facebook has been amazing because we learned stuff about Donnie that we never knew. I didn't know he was a godfather to a little baby. I didn't know he had more friends than I will ever know in my life. And it's been amazing. If I can get through this, I'll tell you a little bit about before any of you guys knew him. Short. I remember, Donnie was born in North Carolina, for those of you who don't know. And I remember the day he came home from the hospital, because I was in the back seat and he was laying in the front seat because this was before seatbelts. And I remember, it's just one of those memories you have, you know, I just remember looking over the seat at this little bundle of joy and wondering what the heck this was going to be like. Well, it didn't take that long to find out. Because Donnie, great heart, but I mean, his middle name was Trouble. From a very young age. And it's funny how this stuff carries through, because when Donnie was little, I beat the crap out of this kid more than all of y'all put together. I was merciless with him. And he took every bit of it. Donnie was a kid that, I remember we went to the beach one time, we got stung by a Portuguese man of war. He got a mini bike, went for a ride in the woods, he came out with his arm. It was just one thing. He played something in the yard, he got bit by spiders, had to go up like a basketball. This was Donnie's childhood. It was constant pain. And then when he was about 10, I got a winemaking kit for Christmas. I made a bunch of wine that tasted like the nastiest vinegar you've ever had in your life. And then the bottles started disappearing. And eventually my mom just found him in the utility room drinking this nasty, nasty homemade vinegar that he thought was wine. When Donnie was 12, he was caught in the back seat of a car with two 16-year-old girls and a six-pack. So the main thing I want to say about Donnie, and there's a ton you can say about him, I mean, he had a great heart, you guys know that. But Donnie was the toughest kid I ever knew.
Yes, sir.
He was tough as nails for when he was a little boy. And that's why all of you know him, because that's exactly what it was like. That's it.
Thank you, Steve, for sharing with us. Ginny, where's Ginny? There's Ginny. You're up. This is Ginny Thylacker, Donnie's girlfriend, friend, way back friend, present friend, other half, sidekick, all the above, fan in the butt.
And I did make notes. I had the washing machine right now. First, I really want to express my deepest sympathy, Steve. I'm going to try to do this. To you and your family, and Donnie's family, I only wish we could have gotten to know each other under different circumstances. And I just want to share that...
Jenny,
Sorry.
there you go. I can hear you. We're good. Thank you.
Donnie, the Donnie I knew was a once-in-a-lifetime kind of guy. You were very fortunate if you were very close to him. He would protect you with everything he had. He would lay down his life for you. But I kind of want us all to remember that we can make a difference in people's lives. Even when we don't realize we're making a difference. Donnie never realized he made a difference to anybody. He never realized that it mattered that he thought Chris was the best fighter that he knew. That Kayla made him the godfather of her baby. Come on, come on.
Take your time, Jenny. We're all here for you. You
Yeah,
take your time.
Just take time. You got it.
But even if we don't realize that we're making a difference for somebody, we actually may be making one of the biggest differences in their life. We need to recognize and embrace the people that lift us up, that make us strive to do better, that raise us higher than we ever thought was possible. And we need to let them know we love them, and then move a step further and prove to them that we love them. Sometimes life gets overbearing, and that's when you need those people in your life. And I just want people to know it's okay to reach out for help. In your darkest moments, you need somebody there. You need to be able to call someone. If they need you, answer that call. Mostly, I want people to remember, if you see a sunset, stop for a minute and enjoy it. Donnie was adamant about stopping and watching the sunset no matter where we were. That's what brought him peace. It brought his soul to rest. So the next time you see a sunset, just stop, appreciate it for what it is and the beauty it holds, and think of Donnie. There's too many times that we let things go by that we really know in our heart we should express. So I think we need to stop and realize that. And I think I'm done crying. Last but definitely not least, I need to thank everybody here for coming out today and for the tremendous outpouring of support you've given me, the family, all the friends that have been there to pick up the pieces. I'm also very, very grateful to those of you that provided donations allowing this memorial to be possible. I know we could not have done this without your help. I would like to introduce the people, the core group of people that put this memorial together. They were extremely instrumental in allowing us all to have a method to memorize Donnie, memorialize Donnie. Bill and Jessica Sapp, lifelong friend of Donnie's, and both Bill and Jessica have worked tirelessly to organize the paddle out that we held for Donnie and this memorial. I couldn't have gotten through this without Bill's help. I'd like to recognize Larry Sheldon. Larry and Donnie go extremely far back, probably as far back as I do with him, so. Dale Bravo. Dave Foster. Greg McNeely. And Glenn. Greg McNeely is responsible for putting this picture together. Dale and Kitty are responsible for the flowers and the wreath at the paddle out in here. And Glenn has composed and provided the DVD that everybody is breaking up watching. And I'd also like to give a shout out to Kenneth for doing the videotaping for this, so we all have a also provided footage for the DVD, and he put together a beautiful DVD that I believe he'll have available as well. I'd like to recognize that. Kelsey, if you can stand up. And I sincerely thank every one of you for everything you have done for Donnie throughout his life. And please don't let the memories stop. You know, the next time you pass a river, throw your line out. Remember Donnie. Next time you see a sunset, remember Donnie. And I do thank all of you.
Okay, a couple of members of the choir group want to stay there, so you can come back up. Okay, who wants to go first? I'm last.
Donnie was a surfer, a friend of mine. And when we started surfing, kind of took us in areas that, in doing things that not everybody gets to experience something with someone. And after a while, I knew Donnie was into karate, but you know, to follow it and to get into it and to learn it, and seeing what he did made me do it. And I didn't stick with it, but the things that I learned and the experiences I had, I know quite a few of the guys from the Don Wilson gym, and running on the beach, doing our katas out there, and I mean, it was an experience. I was kind of embarrassed, but then again, I'm glad I did it. A couple of things that I think back to so many memories, and I can say most of them, were good, but a few bad ones, but and they were still fun. But I got a job at Harris Corporation, and Donnie needed a job, so I go get him a job with me, and I guess I don't know how many months we were working, and we had a voluntary layoff. Well, the surf was good, and well, we voluntarily layoff. The other thing, it's just like quick moment decisions. Oh yeah, surf's good, we're going. But one thing that Donnie showed me is how to trust someone, and to let somebody come up that close to kicking you, and being able to trust them to do it, even if you were totally wasted. And to try to show off in front of girls, I put a cigarette in my mouth, and Donnie would do a jump spinning crescent kick it right out. But and we did it a lot too. But in thinking back, you could trust him. You trust him to have your back, and you trust him with what he was doing. And so I just, that's all I had to say. He's a good guy, and I will miss him.
Larry?
America.
What's going on, America? I've been making videos and putting them on Facebook because I have nothing to do at the house. So I've been putting a couple on there about Donnie, and one of my videos I told this story, and I got to tell this story. It'll be quick. 5 minutes, America. Donnie and I, we met in high school in 9th grade, started surfing together. I didn't want nothing to do with the whole karate thing. You guys can have that. You're not kicking me upside the head. I'm not getting punched. But one day I decided, somewhere in my thinking, that if I could knock Donnie out, then I could rise to this status really quickly and not have to go through the training or anything. So I don't know where we were, but I told Donnie, I said, you're not that bad. And Donnie's sitting on the couch and said, you ain't that bad. So Donnie's just sitting there looking at me like, what the hell's wrong with you? So I said, come on, man, get up, man. So Donnie's like, he's looking at me and he's like, I said, come on, man. So you ain't that bad. Donnie's like, okay. So he gets up, and so we're in somebody's house, in somebody's living room. So I said, Donnie looked at me and goes, what the hell is that? I go, get ready. Just come on. So Donnie's like, okay. So Donnie takes a couple steps in, and I give it to him, America. Donnie's like, he goes, okay. He goes, you ready? And I said, yeah. He goes, you ready? And I said, yeah. He gave me a back fist in my forehead. When my arm went up like that, he pow, right in my ribs. I'm like, you know what he did? I went over and sat on the couch that he was sitting on, that I saw him, he's going to bump off the couch. And he come over there and he rubbed my head, and he goes, you be all right in a minute. But I got a lot of stories of that, like my brother back there, I can't tell you. We love to chase the girls, but man, I'll miss that guy every day. He was somebody that I admired, somebody that I wanted to be like. If Donnie was in your camp, man, you had nothing to worry about. You felt proud to be around him, to be with him. Surfing, whether it was surfing or any of that, man, I just he made me a better person by knowing him. He gave you confidence. You can do it. Come on, you can do it. So anyway, I miss him.
Dave?
Thank you. First of all, thanks to everyone who showed up. And I knew Donnie from surfing, 9th grade, like Larry. And what I remember about the karate thing was we went over to Donnie's house off Range Road. And he had a big old ancient Everlast bag hanging from the carport. And we'd go over there and watch him work out. I remember the one time he was kicking it and everything, and he busted it, he taped it up, he went to kick it again, then he knocked the whole thing down. Well, that was the end of my dreams of ever becoming a kickboxer or anything when I saw Donnie do that, because he was just a strong dude, and somebody you would want to have in your corner. I was honored to have him as a friend. Donnie was not about Donnie. It was about everyone else. And that's what I remember. He would literally give you the shirt off his back if he could. Once again, thanks again for coming out, and the core group. And it's good we could all come together, unfortunately for this, but that's what we did, Tiger Pride. Thank you.
Is that it? Is that it, everybody? Okay.
Wait. Yeah, Bill. Oh, back
No, you're right. Come on. Come on up now. Then you, Jessica. Okay.
Greetings, everybody. Most people don't know me. I'm not around this area much, even though I live in Orlando. I'm Glenn Wilson, the Grandmaster of Pai Lum Thao Martial Arts. Don Wilson and James Wilson called me early this morning. Their flight just got in, and they're obligated with their work over here on the project that we're all doing. So they send their condolences and thoughts, obviously, how close Donnie was with all of us from the 70s to the present. There will be a special entry into the movie, so please look for that in the future. Donnie. Just real quick on Donnie Hair, back to the old days of the 70s that I loved hearing. The two baddest schools and systems in the South were Yoshikai Karate and Pailun Tao Kung Fu. And we weren't supposed to like each other because we were both really bad schools. And when I say bad, that's good. And Donnie didn't care. He shows up at Don Wilson's school, which is, Don's my student. He shows up at his school and he didn't care. He goes, oh, and I get a phone call, there's a Yoshikai guy over there. That just shows you who he was. So when y'all remember that, there were no barriers with him. And a very quick story in Ireland, when the baddest dude in the bar in Ireland, in Dublin there, was wanted to fight Don Wilson, and of course, he don't care about that. So Donnie Hair goes, you know, I'll take him on, you know? And so the baddest guy in Dublin comes up there and he's trash talking, and Donnie Hair knocks him out in about 2 seconds. Now, see, this was not right because to the Irish, they were supposed to go outside and fight. And so they're going, these Western cowboy barbarians. But Donnie Hair said, I didn't know the rules. So that's why we love him. Thank you, everybody.
All right.
I just wanted to say something briefly before I close it out with Bill, because he's Bill Sapp. He's good friends with Donnie. I just wanted to thank everybody for the financial donations. I was a money person. Sorry, but I actually didn't know Donnie that well. I just know him through Bill, but I felt like he always had my back, you know, because of Bill. And so I felt like if he was with me or if anything went wrong, Bill can do some. But Donnie could do so much more. So when it came to the fighting and I was like, okay, well, I lost one big fighter on my team, but I still got some left. And I got some in the audience, and now I got new ones because I'm not from the fighting world, so I don't know all of everyone. But I know I got my green on my side still and some other people that I know. But I wanted to thank everyone for the money, because you might see my face from all of the financing part of it, the GoFundMe website, the Facebook stuff. And so without you, I couldn't have done that. You know, that's something that we did together. And I just want to let everyone know that the website's going to be up for one more week. So I'm going to try to keep it up till next Saturday, and then I'm going to close it out. And then whatever's remaining will go to the Yvette project, which Donnie was really big into. He actually did events for that, and that's why we chose that organization. The core group decided that was a good organization because he did that, and the Yvette project is local out of the Patrick Air Force Base, so it's more streamlined here. We have a donation bucket over on the side, but right now, without counting the bucket, we're $150 to the Yvette project over budget of what we've needed. So whatever comes in now to then, we'll just go all the way to the Yvette project. All right, thank you, and now over to Bill Sapp.
Okay. I'm going to share a couple short ones and a couple other ones. I'm going to try to cover a little of the fun and good, and maybe a couple of the ones that, like, I'll have to keep PG as best I can. Some of the fun ones. I met Donnie in junior high school, 7th grade. We hit it off for years and years and years. We were just inseparable. If Donnie was there, I was there. If we were surfing, like Dale was saying, you know, we'd get to school, and the wind's offshore, and we left school, and things like that. And a couple of surf things. Being young and surfers, doing the things young surfers do. I can remember going to the beach one time when we're driving in Donnie's, we called it the Great Pumpkin, old Mobile station wagon, huge car. And we're driving and having a good time. We get to the beach, and before we get there, we pull up to a store, to get something to drink, and we pull in the window, and I'm looking at the car, the reflection in the glass, and I'm like, Donna, your surfboard's not on the roof. We never found the board. Donnie didn't have a board to ride that day. One of those things. Another time was the day we went surfing, and on the way home we're going to a friend's house to a party, after beach party. Well, they're sitting in the garage and everything, people in the garage doors up. And again, we were in the Great Pumpkin, and we go pulling up and stuff, and Donnie's going, well, we're just going to pull right in the garage. But when you got surfboards on the roof and fins sticking up, and mine barely missed the garage door, Donnie's caught the garage door. Fin comes out, rips it, broken, another broken Donnie board. Bummer. God, so many of those. Cape Hatteras, there's a picture of Donnie on a blue van and early trips to Cape Hatteras we were doing and stuff. One of the trips to Cape Hatteras, Donnie had a little white Mazda car. We told his mom was the greatest person to us. I mean, she used to come, she'd grab Donnie, drive to my house over on the other side of Cocoa, pick me up, take us to the beach and dump us off almost every weekend, Saturday and Sunday. She'd go home, end of the day, drive back out, pick us up. She just did that for us all the time. And where's he going with that? You know, things surfers did when they were young. Oh yeah, the white Mazda. We convinced his mom we were going to New Smyrna Beach to camp for the weekend to surf, because we knew that if we got in that car and drove fast enough, we could make it to Cape Hatteras in about 11 hours. And we did. Took the car. One of the rides to Cape Hatteras, if you didn't go all the way up and drive out, you could cut across Camp Lejeune Marine Base and get a pass to cross it and stuff and take the ferry. And we did. And we just thought it was the coolest thing. Like, man, we're on our way to Hatteras. Mom thinks we're in New Smyrna. We got this wired. And because we're running it late, we got the little Mazda up. You know, we're sitting at about 85, just buzzing across the Marine Base. And here comes these two guys. Excuse the expression. They're called jarheads. They were Marines, you know. And we're driving, and they come pulling up beside us at 85 miles an hour. And we're like, what are these guys up? They're in a Ford Granada. We're in a rotary engine Mazda. And we used to do a thing called burning people. The surfers know what that is. We honk the horn. If you're over there, we honk the horn and there's nothing over there. Get your attention and we wave. People are like, what are they waving at? What are they doing? So these Marines come buzzing up beside us. We go, we're going to burn them. We'll burn them. They come up, honk the horn. We wave out the window. We punch the Mazda. Boom. Okay, right now we're up to about 90. Here come the Marines again, man. Oh, they want to race us, I think, you know? And they get up to about 90, and we did it again. Honk, honk. They looked over. We burned them. Stomped the Mazda. Mazda's just getting it, man. We're like 100 miles out. Whoa. The Marines flew past us. We're like, whoa. And when they flew past us, the Marine in the passenger seat grabbed the MP helmet and threw it up in the back window. They were the law. And we made it to where you're supposed to hand out your pass to get back off the base, and they do this little Starsky Hutch slide, and they block the base, and they're out pointing and guns and stuff, and like, keep it short. They let us go. We thought, I mean, I'm standing there going, man, we're going to jail. Your mom's going to find out, dude, this is not good, you know, and stuff. But they gave us a long talk, told us if we ever see you on this base again, it won't be good. Our colonel or whoever's in a bad mood this morning, it wouldn't be good for you. Just so many things like that. Donnie, man, he was my bro. He was. A couple of real quick ones on the other side. The tough Donnie, the rough Donnie. Donnie first trained under my brother-in-law, Larry Pate. Started Yoshikai. We started together at the same time at the National Guard Armory over in Cocoa. I was more of a defense person. That's why I didn't stay at karate long. You know, I was one who stood back there, and if you came at me, I tried to defend you. And if you fight for points or not being knocked out, that don't work real well. You know, especially when the guy's real good, you're like, oh, missed it. So Donnie stuck with it. I stuck to surfing a little more. And but there were times. I mean, we had closeness. You know, Donnie and I had closeness, and this isn't about how close I was with Donnie, but I know there were things he shared with me I was talking with his brother that he didn't share with a lot of people. And they were tough times, and it was the nights out at the bars and things like that and stuff. And you know, I can remember I got jumped by a couple guys outside of Brassey's, and some of you remember Brassey's and stuff. I got jumped one night, and you know, I did okay for the couple guys that jumped me. You know, the first one I managed to get his head into the car door, but when I turned around, the second one clocked me, and you know, so but I remembered the guy that started it, and I thought one day I'll find you, you know. And I was with Donnie one night, and we were at Brassey's, and I'm looking over, I'm like, oh, there's that guy right there. There. I told Donnie, I said, Donnie, that's the dude right there that he led that little thing where I got jumped and stuff. He goes, you need to go take care of it. I'm like, okay, but I thought that's why you're with me, you know. He goes, no, Bill. He goes, go up there and you take care of it. So I did. I went to the guy and I said, hey, you remember me? You know, and the guy's looking at me. He goes, he did. It was probably a few months and stuff. And so I didn't want to fight inside this bar. So I'm telling the guy, you know what, dude, listen, me and you, we'll go out back. I said, only one of us is going to walk back in. And the guy wasn't going to do it. He just wasn't going to do it. So he finally got tired of hearing me talk, and he called me a name, and he walked off. And as he walked off, Donnie's looking at me. He goes, you gonna take that? And I'm like, I am so not Donnie, you know? And I'm like, no. He goes, well, you need to go. I'm like, okay. So I follow the guy through the bar, and I know you can call it cheap shotting if you want, but the guy really, he jumped me once, and he got to the end of the bar, and I tapped him when he turned around. You know, Donnie's thing was, let's end this, you know? Donnie knock you out quick. And so the guy turned around, I hit him. And I mean, I hit him hard, and he hit the ground, and I didn't want to fight, you know, I was scared. I thought he was going to get up, so I'm about to go like this, you know, and get him, and all of a sudden, boom, another guy hit the ground right beside me. And I looked over, and Donnie's smiling, and I'm like, he goes, I think he was going to hit you, Bill. You know, that's a friend right there, man, you know. And so Donnie, you know, Donnie had your back, man. He cleaned up, he took care of you and stuff, and yeah, there was a lot of those. I know I'm running a little long here, but that's okay. I was at another bar one night with him and stuff, and it was getting close to the time to leave. Back then it was like 4 in the morning. I think they closed the bars and stuff, and this was definitely not a real good bar to be in. And there's this big, I'll call him a biker dude. He was big, you know, and stuff. And Donnie went to the restroom, and the guy sat where Donnie was sitting, where his drink was, and Donnie comes back, and you know, it's like, that's my seat, that's my drink. The guy just looked at Donnie like, you're a little twerp, you know. So Donnie said some things, and the guy's like not leaving and stuff. So we walked off. We went to the other end of the bar. We got a seat. We had another drink. And it was getting late, and I said, Donnie, I got to go. Let's get out of here and stuff. He goes, he's looking at the guy. I mean, this is a big dude. He's looking at the guy, and he goes, okay. He goes, but I want to go give that guy a kiss goodnight. I knew what he meant, you know. I knew what he meant for real. So I went to the door, and I seen Donnie go the other way, and I stopped, and I stood at the door, and Donnie went, and I don't know what they said. They had a couple things, and the guy stood up, and about the time he stood up, I mean, he's like looking at Donnie. He kissed him goodnight, you know. Guy went to sleep right there on the floor, and it was just, and we left, and that's Donnie, man. He took, with good reason. I mean, he didn't just do it to do it. He just put it into, excuse the expression, crap if you gave him crap, you know. There's no finger poking, no spitting at each other. It was, okay, this is gonna happen, it's over, you know. So that's the Donnie I know. About 10 years ago, on one of his last trips out to California, I think he came back, he called me up, said he was in town, needed a place to stay and stuff for a while, so he moved in with me. I share this to give you a part of maybe where Ginny was going with what we all deal with sometimes or have dealt with in our lives. And I came home from work one day, and Donnie was in my kitchen, and he was crying. He was broke. And I know what broken is. I've been there. And so we got to talking, and he shared with me. I had already known. I mean, we were in our 30s, 40s, somewhere up in there. And he shared with me that day stuff that all through our prior life together he had never shared. I kind of had an idea of some things, but he shared. He told me, you know, what was broken inside of him and why, and stuff. And at the time, we had a very good talk. I'm a member of a church on Meridonic East Coast Christian Center, and he started coming to church with me. But what he wanted to deal with being broken and the things that caused him pain and stuff. And it was tough. But it made me see a side of Donnie, having grown up with him, that I didn't really know. And when he revealed it to me, I'm not mad at Donnie today at all. I do have a couple things I'm going to read out of this Bible, because one of the things Donnie shared with me when he was scared, I'm a person of faith. I'm not a religious person. In my faith, I believe in my Creator. And for me, my Creator is Jesus Christ, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. I don't care if you're Baptist, Jewish, Methodist, doesn't matter. Mine's a relationship. And so I was able to share with Donnie. And for those of you who don't know and stuff, in my faith, there's a salvation prayer, basically. And Donnie was with me, and we were together when Donnie prayed a prayer of salvation. So, in my book, in my faith, that covers Donnie. That covers Donnie today, yesterday. It doesn't matter. You may think to yourself, you may not, oh, well, how could that be if Donnie was this, this, and this, and this? And, well, I would challenge you that if you're without all those things, you throw the first stone, you know? Because we all have those issues. We all deal with our own issues and stuff. And I love that guy, and I know that side of him, and I do miss him. I'm going to read a couple of verses, some I posted.
I just want to warn you, I'm going to run out of tape.
That's
so
okay.
Hang on to it first. Hang on and give me a pause here shortly, because I'm about to run out.
Okay, what should I do? You want to pause right now, and I'll grab my Bible?
I've got about 30 seconds
Well,
worth.
All right. In this, unfortunately, I had to do a little research into these things that I'm getting ready to share with you. Even before Donnie, I help with a men's prayer group that meets at 8th Street in Cocoa Beach every other Saturday. Been doing it for years, and this whole subject I'm covering right now was brought up then, and I realized that God was preparing me for this, and I didn't know. To look into things, why people do what they do, why did bad things happen to good people, and why did my friend another friend that I just lost and stuff, you know, was such a strong, faithful Christian person, why did he die of cancer, and yet somebody else I know had stage 4 throat cancer and he's still alive today, but yeah, he don't believe in a God, you know, why some of these things, you know, and I'm just going to share a couple, and again, I'm not trying to offend anybody, I'm just able to share this, and I'm going to. In Deuteronomy, there's a little thing that says, the secret things belong to the Lord our God, but those things which are revealed belong to us and to our children forever, that we may do all the words of the law. There's things we're not going to know. You know, why we're here on earth, God, we probably don't need to know. But with my faith and my belief, one day God will reveal this to you. We're gonna meet our Maker. We're gonna meet our Creator. And when we do, He's gonna let us know. You know, He's gonna explain this, and we're gonna get it. Trust me, we're gonna get it. He's not messed up. He didn't miss nothing. He didn't grab the wrong person. And where we at next? All right, just bear with me. This is Jesus talking. He says, "Assuredly, I say to you, all sins will be forgiven the sons of men, and whatever blasphemies they may utter. But he who blasphemies the Holy Spirit never has forgiveness, but is subject to eternal condemnation." To me, that just says there's only one unforgivable sin. There's only one, and that is blasphemy of the Holy Spirit. Some people have a different belief, and again, I'm not trying to stomp that and everything, but the way some of us have chosen to leave this world is not unforgivable in God's eyes. And this is one of the scriptures that help you out with that in Luke 12:2. It says, "And anyone who speaks a word against the Son of Man, it will be forgiven him. But to him who blasphemies against the Holy Spirit, it will not be forgiven." Again, only one unforgivable sin in that book. This is Jesus speaking again. It says, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." Donnie knew Jesus. He was with me. We had our talk. Donnie had his prayer, and he was covered. That's my belief. That's my faith. "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish. Neither shall anyone snatch them out of my hand. My Father, who has given them to me, is greater than all, and no one is able to snatch them out of my Father's hand. And I and my Father are one." I don't think death, the way some people have chosen it, the way Donnie dealt with things, snatched him out of God's hands. And I'll read this last one here in Romans 8:38. Oh, okay. I'll start with 37. It says, "Yet in all these things we are more than conquerors through him who loves us. For I am persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other created thing shall be able to separate us from the love of God, which is in Christ Jesus our Lord." And standing on those, and with what Donnie shared with me, and again, the pains and the darkness and the hardships in life that put Donnie in a position to be where he was when he left us. Donnie's in heaven. I'm going to see Donnie again. I'm going to get to see my buddy again. And I encourage you, if you don't know, to think about that. Because just being good people sometimes won't get you there. I'm confident that I'll see my father again, my mother again. She's still here, but I'll see him again. I'm glad she didn't hear that one. But I might be gone. But I'm going to see him again. You know, God, my Creator, the God I believe, the true God, tells me that, and I'm standing on that. That's faith. Faith. If you got the faith of a mustard seed, it says. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not yet seen. That's what faith is. I've got it. We have it. Donnie's in heaven, and I'll see him again. I was mowing the lawn. I mow for Mike and Patsy Green, and it was just 2 weeks ago, and I'm working all day by myself and stuff, and I'm in their backyard. I'm just mowing away. And as I turned the corner, it was so short, brief, but yet so clear. When I turned this corner, just like this, there was Donnie. It was the healthiest, happiest, brightest, clearest picture I may have ever seen of Donnie in my life. And I got just a quick little thing went by me, as in, I'm okay, thank you. And I needed that. I believe that was a gift. And I know Donnie's okay. I thank you for sitting here listening to me. I know I'm rambling and stuff, but We all love Donnie. Donnie's been a part of every one of us' life in one shape or another. Whether it was school, it was karate, it was surfing, it was I got a punch in or I got punched out, however it was. And again, I want to thank everybody for showing up and celebrating Donnie's life. Donnie did what Donnie felt he should do. That's how Donnie lived life. If Donnie said, I'm doing it, he did it. Didn't always work out for the best, but it's that way with a lot of us. I'm sure he had no regrets. You know, he lived life that way. I'm going to do this. And he'd do it. And that's who Donnie was. So to close this out, for everybody in here that's done martial arts before, still doing it, did it, however that works, especially in the kata part of karate, we used to do a 10 count or a 20 count or however many. I'd like everybody that's karate, if you'd stand up for a second, any way, shape, or form, just stand up. And what we're going to do here in the circle never goes away. So I'm going to do it 3 times. I'm going to count to 10. At the end, on 10 each time, just let out a little oos or anything. By the second time we do it, and probably definitely the third, everybody who doesn't know what's going on, each one of those noises is a 10. But on the third one, I'd like everybody to participate. And on that third one, I believe the heavens are open today. And I want Donnie to hear us. We're going to send Donnie a big shout out. We're going to send Donnie a big yell. And we're going to let him know how much we love him. And this is for Donnie. This is our bow out to our brother, our friend, our instructor, promoter, everything that Donnie is and the lives he touched. So I'll do 10, 3 times. That third one, let's let him really have it. But on each 10, the ones that know it, let's just give a grunt, a oos, or whatever you want to do. So we'll do that right now. Ich, ni, song, chi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. Ich, ni, song, chi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. Let's let him hear it, everybody. Let's let him hear it. Ich.
Come on, baby.
Ni, song, chi, go, rook, sich, hach, ku, ju. Thank you. Give us just a minute or 2 to get things uncovered. We've got till 3 o'clock. There's sandwiches, there's little Cubans, there's wraps, there's veggies, cheese.